go further with artificial intelligence. A lot of us might just think about AI as church management. Actually, you might look at AI as, let's say, a destructive measures or something that has come to violate our privacy. But that's not what artificial intelligence is actually all about. So have you thought about seeing artificial intelligence as something that could actually solve an efficient problem for you? Or have you actually looked at artificial intelligence as something that could make you avoid repetitive jobs? Or or actually have something that could help you to solve certain problems in the church? Now, artificial intelligence comes from sets of human instruction, right? That instructions are called programs. Computer uses that programs to analyze or study large amounts of information quickly. As humans, we cannot actually make decisions just on our own. We actually make decisions, but we don't process that on data. Let's say, for instance, you have a data management in your church, and you probably want to make decisions based on you want to send messages to bankers of the church. But you cannot just have a members of church this way and be able to differentiate who actually are bankers in the church, except when you have a data management. So with data management, it helps you make a very right decision, channeling your section to the right people you want to send information to. So let's go to, So artificial intelligence seems like one of the distant technology from us, whereas it's already creeping into our daily lives. Let's say, for instance, you pick up your phone now. Okay, can we just do something quickly? Take up your phone, search something on Google. Yes. So what are the things did you see? There are several options coming up, right? So that aspect is what artificial intelligence does for you. But if I should ask you random questions like, let's say, what's your name, or ask you a meaning of something, you might just give me few or not much instances. But with AI, it helps you to have an elaborate knowledge of what you want. It gives you different disciplines. It gives you different definitions of something you're actually looking for. And then you can now make decisions with that. But we as humans might not be able to do that just on our own. Now, can I ask a question if you don't mind? Yep, sorry, sir. Can you tell me how many people you have in your church? Yes, please, yes. Sorry? 800. Did you just guess, or that's a specific figure? It's an estimate. Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry, can I ask someone else, please? Sir, can you tell me how many people you have in your church? Talking to you, sir. Yes, please. Let's say, but you're not specific of the figure. Yeah, so can you imagine having a system that could help you have a specific figure that can analyze the number of people you have in your church? Can you ever imagine that? Now, can you as well imagine you come to church and there's a camera everywhere that could tell you who is happy and who is not happy, and you should go and meet that person that, let's say, you have, for instance, we that uses iPhone, you have Siri. You know, when you talk to Siri, Siri answers. I don't know if you can actually relate to that. So imagine now having that in your church. There are cameras that could help you filter out those who are happy and those who are sad. You know, it's actually, to me, it's actually a very creepy thing to imagine. Now, can you imagine excuse me, can you imagine coming to church? Let's say they want to be a donation for the church, and a camera can tell you, go and meet that man there. He has money to give for the building projects. Can you imagine that? No, that's what actually AI can do. That's what AI can do. So, sorry, ma, I didn't hear you. Sorry? No, no. There can be a machine that could just tell you, go and meet that man there. He has the facility to help you in that church project. That's actually what AI can do. We are humans imagine things that are very possible, and programming it into a system that could solve that could solve that problem for us. So let's imagine another scenario that you are able to send out SMS or emails to those who attended church, and as well send out SMS to those who did not attend service. Can you imagine that? Like, can you feel, just if, let's say for instance, you're not using a software or a data management, and you just have an existing Excel sheet that you put your all members database. Can you now filter out those who attended and those who did not attend? Can you do that on a norm? But imagine having a system that could help you filter out those who attended service and those who did not attend service, whereby knowing where to channel your energies to. Can you actually have that in mind? So let's go to something else that I really want to share with you. Something very interesting and something very enlightening, which you don't even need to be a tech savvy to use it. So there's a system called Church Plus. I don't know if you're ever familiar with Church Plus. Has anybody been familiar with Church Plus here? Okay, so can you tell me your experience using Church Plus? Yes, please. Sorry, I can't hear you clearly. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. So now, how do you engage with your members of the church? It's just a random question, because to me, I have this feeling that if I'm not welcomed in a place, I do not want to go back there. So now, let's say for instance, as early as 7 a.m., as a church member, I get a birthday SMS from my church on my birthday celebrating me. I really feel very happy. I don't know if anybody will actually have that same feeling, but I'm just telling you my own experience. So can you also imagine a system where during your wedding anniversary, your church sends you a message as early as 7 a.m. as well? Now, what about, how do you follow up with your first timers that come to church? I heard a speaker talk about, I heard a speaker talk about you converting people to God and all. So what about you convert 1,000 people? How do you manage that? Like, how do you get to follow up with them to come for subsequent events or service that are being created? How do you do that? Do you just write up their name, or after that, or after you just speak to them that day and that's all? Or do you have a one-on-one conversation with them, either through mails or SMS? So those are the part of things that AI or technology will actually do for you. And everything is an automated process. So it helps you to be able to follow up drastically. And as well as the system also helps to assign someone that will as well help you follow up with that first timer. Now let's talk about your attendance process. I'm sorry to say, but as I came in here yesterday, I noticed there was just one stream of attendance, which is just going to the link and register. So what about having a multiple streams of attendance and check-in process? don't you think work will be much more efficient and easy to use for you? Let's say, for instance, you come to church, you have a QR scanner on your phone, and there's a QR code around that you could just go through, you scan, and attendance is taking place. Even if you don't have a smartphone, you can as well take attendance from the church. Just an SMS code. You send an SMS to a code that will be generated from your account, and then people get to take attendance, and it's automated on the system, which helps you to be much more faster and reliable in what you're doing. So you don't have to be, even if you have a multiple crowd coming in at the same time, that can help you manage that. Yeah. So let's go to something very, very interesting. When you're talking about your events, there are some events at which you created for the church and you want people to attend that event. Now, how do you manage, let's say you have multiple people coming for that event? How do you create that event and now be able to send it out to members of the church, inviting them for that event? Or do you just create flyers and you do publicity? Yeah, that's part of what church do. And you just, then you invite people to tell your friend to come for church service. So have you ever imagined a different method of doing things that could be much more reliable and faster for you and could be efficient for you? So that's what Church Plus actually does. Church Plus helps you in your entire data management. So all these things cannot be possible if there is no data. Everything here is possible when you have a proper data management that can help you automate all your workflow, all your process in the church. So what about receiving donations online? How do you do that? And you can keep record of those who gives for the donations in church, and it is in different segments. Having your tithe offerings, your church building projects, your general offerings, and other related offerings at which you are talking about. So the system helps you to do that. It helps you to manage both your accounting software. It helps you both to manage your events. It helps you in your attendance. It also helps in your child check-in process. We've heard cases of people talking about their churches that say a child is missing in their church. And that's because there was no proper management of that. But the system helps you do that. It makes sure that the person in charge of the children ward does not give out the child to the person who is not a guardian or the parents or whoever brings the child to the church. Because you have to register that child for every event or every service being attended. And that could help you in so many cases, in so many managements of the church. So what about having a multi-branch management of your church? Let's say, for instance, you have, you as a head church, you have various branches. How do you know activities that really happens in those branches? How do you know if there's a growth or there's an analyzed growth in your church? So what about your system? If the system can help you to analyze your previous service with your current service, what if you have a system that could do that for you? So those are the part of things that Church Plus could actually do. So when we're talking about us, how many of us can go through our phones right now and check if we have, members of our contacts that are already in our church, that you can follow up with a very good process? So Church Plus helps you in so many aspects of your church management. It helps in different aspects. It helps you to keep a proper data management and your data are safe. It helps in sending SMS. It helps in sending out emails. It helps in attendance process, and it helps in your event management and your check-in process. So part of the things I want you to do is to know if you really right now want to have a proper data management in your church, or you just still want to do the manual aspect at which you still do. Yes. All right. So I would just love to know if you want a proper data management for your church. You can as well come back to me later on. Then we'll just create an account for you on Church Plus, and then you'll be able to have a proper data management for your church that could help you do all of this. Thank you.